improving bundling and competitiveness in the media and communications. So this is not the session you were intending to attend. This is probably the time to get up and go. So this is the track, the media and communications track. We're very fortunate that we have some great speakers today. We got Chad Reisinger from Charter Communications, Mick Hegarty, who is on his way from British Telecom, and Katrina Khan from Data Media. And my name is Tony Beller. I'm Director of Consulting for Salesforce.com. You've probably seen this in every session that you attended today. I have to show it to you. It's our safe harbor. I'm not going to read it. I think you're probably familiar with this. You can go to our website and read it in detail. Some of the things that we want to make sure that you leave today from this session is how to use Salesforce to understand your customers, methods of using Salesforce.com to identify and market to multi-product customers, how to use the Salesforce.com platform to improve work order accuracy and orchestration, and lastly, Salesforce.com and Force.com allowing a large business to become more nimble and agile in responding to the business and market change. So when you leave this room, hopefully those are the things that you can take away to implement or to enhance your current Salesforce implementation. In terms of the agenda, as I said, Chad Reisinger from Charter Communications is going to take it first. He's going to talk about a project that he implemented called Price Guarantee and Churn Reduction. Then we're going to pass it on to Mick Hegarty from British Telecom. He's going to talk about improving agility and time to market in the British Telecom's B2B business. And lastly, Katrina Khan from Data Media is going to talk about B2B, improving product bundling to create a disruptive client experience. And then we'll wrap it up. Hopefully we'll have 5 to 10 minutes for you guys to ask questions to the session speakers. Hopefully, we want this to be a session where you ask a lot of questions. The session speakers today are very knowledgeable in the application. So with that said, I'll hand it off to Chad.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Tony Beller. I appreciate it. Now, just forward and back. Click here. All right. So that was me just a second ago. I'm Chad. I'm from Charter Communications. This is just a little bit about who Charter is and what we do. And if you didn't know, those are some good little factoids about that. I'll just talk a little bit about how we use Salesforce in the company. We've got 3 Salesforce orgs currently supported. Charter Business, it's got the sales cycle, so we use a strong SFA, as well as sort of order management, order to cash, campaign to cash, quote to cash. In our Charter Business implementation. In customer care, our eCare organization has about 240 seats, basically sort of a complement of a chat service as well as a Charter.com order fulfillment and sort of dispute resolution, I think would be the best one way to describe it. Basically order fallout that doesn't happen to see a happy path all the way to our billing systems from our website. Usually kind of gets managed through that particular instance. And then the price guarantee, which we stood up on the 24th of November, so just about a year ago. And that's what we're going to just kind of breeze through the highlights today of the people, the process, and then how we've implemented some technology to help support the people in the process. So just to briefly sort of cover at a high level what it is that price guarantee was after. Initially, it was really around revenue retention. We wanted to basically have it introduced as a save offer. So a customer calling in to disconnect, voluntarily disconnect, we would be offering up a 2-year price guarantee for that customer to stay. And typically, that particular price point would be a fairly significant value to the customer for them to go ahead and continue to stay a customer. And so there was a piloted implementation of that just in our sales and retention organizations. And then we actually sort of put some more meat around the technology specifically, and I'll talk a little bit about those challenges. The acquisition side of things is really where we're at today. So having already implemented the churn reduction aspect, we've actually become, these offers around price guarantee are actually the things that our agents are basically offering up to the customers that call in first. So it's become our leading offer, and I'll tell you a little bit about some of the results that the business has achieved as a result of this particular program. On the technology side, what we're really trying to achieve is order accuracy or order entry accuracy and assurance. That basically marrying what the offer is against what the customer has committed to, and meaning the agent themselves has physically entered the order into the billing system, and yet they've accepted the terms and conditions of a given offer for a specific duration. So really we're just trying to make sure that what they offered is what they have in the billing system. Offer acceptance, of course, was a biggie. As we're doing a price guarantee for 2 years, there comes some early termination fees if you do go ahead and opt out early. So having, from a legal perspective, the compliance around you accepting an offer at a point in time and what offer you did accept were some really key objectives that we had to meet from the technology side. In addition, it was commitment management. You know, of course, as the commitments roll on over time, you know, the people start falling off their 24-month commitment. What are we going to do with those? So understanding who's falling off, when they're falling off, another key objective that we were meeting with technology. Exception management, again, the offer not equal to the committed services or the services in billing itself. And then marketing communication management. So that'd be outbound letters, welcome letters, early termination letters, just things that we would actually feed to one of our marketing communication firms so that they can actually send those letters to the customers. We actually had to achieve that as well. And then the ETF automation, not having somebody to actually be alerted of the fact that somebody had termed out of a commitment early, rather enforcing those particular policies via an approval process and then going into the billing systems and applying the ETF based upon that approval. So those are the key things that we were trying to achieve. The challenge, I say building Rome in 8 weeks, it's a difficult position that we get ourselves put into from an IT perspective sometimes of being date-driven. Sometimes we find ourselves just trying to meet the date and we don't make the best technology decisions, but we're really trying to get the St. Bernard through the cat door. And that was sort of the case here as well. We really had to get something out to meet the date. We met the date, and I think they actually still got a pretty good product out of it as well. But it was probably the chief challenge that we were dealing with from the beginning. So you can see the as-is state of things was a little bit tricky at first because it just wasn't very scalable. It was mostly offline, meaning it was Excel spreadsheets from a data warehouse that were trying to do a lot of those things. But the data was a little bit old, you know, 24, 48 hours old, and certainly things are changing in that as-is state all the time in our billing system. So reports were wrong, they were late, they were in conflict. It just really created a really difficult challenge for us to solve for. And I went and screwed that up already, didn't I? You're not supposed to see that clever slide yet. The launch, of course, you could read through the as-is, but the launch side of things is just to have it always available online. It had to be automated, you know, just not a lot of manual intervention in it, and it had to be reusable in our perspective as well as the technology. So we really looked at our existing assets or our business reference models to just take a look at the inventory of our assets and reuse where we could and it made sense. And then this whole notion of simplifying. They had so many different places to try and find out the information about who was going, who was coming. It was just a really unmanageable place to be. If we could simplify it within a single console, it really ended up helping out. So here comes the fancier diagrams. This is sort of the thing that we worked through at a very input-output sort of flow of data that I think the customer could sort of identify with. So here's kind of how it was. I just keep on messing that thing up, don't I? There we go. I'll just leave that one alone. So at its core, the subscriber calls in, and I'll just use the retention use case as sort of the best case. Customer calls in, they want to disconnect. The agent's basically pleading with them, well, let's not. I got a better offer for you. I'll lock your price in for 2 years. It's a great price. I'll get you, I'll get you telephone service in addition to your video and your high-speed internet. Customer likes what he or she is hearing. They go ahead and fulfill that order request. The order comes back to the agent. If it's scheduled and all the things that go along with that, that's sort of business as usual. Customers retained or acquired. What happens then is we've got two particular acceptance paths that we need to go through. One, because there is early termination, we need to go ahead and basically get the offer that you've accepted and what offer at that point in time. In addition, most of our offers are a triple play offer, and we have telephone as a component. And whenever you have porting numbers, we have a TPV component that's obviously baked into the equation as well. So we basically have a warm transfer over to voice log. where the customer really goes through a series of scripts to try and get, we're really just after their acceptance. And this is where we really kind of introduce the technology. And really, oddly, at this point, it's not so much that it was technology directly into Salesforce as much as it was Salesforce Professional Services implementation standing up two things, one is called a broker and the other one's called a listener. So the first thing that happens there in sequence number 1 is the listener with a big old fat ear is just sitting there waiting for voice log to tell us all about an offer that was accepted, what offer was accepted, and whether there was TPV related to that particular offer. The listener takes it and digests it and then basically hands it over to the broker. And this is where some of the IT work and heavy lifting come in. The broker basically is just going into our billing systems using existing web services to try and match the telephone number that the customer, that the agent has entered in related to this particular retention or acquisition opportunity. And we're matching that telephone number to an account so that we can try and figure out who that person is and what particular services they've actually signed up for. We compare those services to the offer, and when they're in conflict, we'll set the commitment status to something that lets the agent know that it needs to be worked. If they're not in conflict and the work order's been completed, we have an agreement that's active, and that's the sunny day flow. Those 6 or 7 sequences are just the things that we do within the actual web service tier to basically find the related account and related work orders related to that account. So that's enough technology. I can see the glazed look. All right, so the results, the business results. We had 350,000 ads bundle ups retained since 11/24. And that's not an RGU count. That's actually physical individual customers or residents. So it's been fairly successful. The 50% churn reduction. In fact, there's some great analytics around that I could certainly share with you, perhaps offline. But at its core, that's really what we're able to collectively help reduce churn by as it relates to these particular acquisitions or retention offers. It happens to be the leading offer. It's the thing that our agents are going right out the door with. And, of course, the internal and the external customer satisfaction, that the customer is getting what they want, which is the guaranteed rate for 2 years. But more importantly to me is that my internal customer, even though they had some ridiculous time demands, also got what they wanted. As far as I can tell, they haven't complained too much lately. Laugh here. Okay, maybe not. So, from an IT perspective, again, one of the great things I think we were able to get is visibility to the dashboard analytics in 360-degree view. There's not a really good place within the organization today that can give me an hour-by-hour view of how many offers are being accepted. But that's something that we're able to go ahead and see, which is kind of exciting. So I can tell you that, this morning when I looked at 11 o'clock, we had 1,293 offers that had been accepted that were agreement active immediately. Those are the sort of things that we just didn't have visibility to previously. Those are the sort of value adds I feel, it really warms the cottles for me. Automation for process improvement, just really nice to see the reuse of the existing services being introduced into a broker in 8 weeks and being able to go ahead and achieve automation. Again, from Tony's perspective, we engaged professional services to help meet that very aggressive timetable and build something that wasn't necessarily Salesforce, but it was basically as sort of a complement to Salesforce, and it needed to be very tightly woven around the fabric of the metadata and the rules that we defined there. And we were pretty appreciative to that effort by PS. And we didn't add a single head to my staff in order to support that, which I think speaks to the technology aspects as well. And I don't want to go too much longer because we've got better stuff coming up. Next, fine. And is that it? Did I miss okay, so the key takeaways? Yeah, I'll just kind of rifle through these. In my perspective, of course, it's just to harness the platform. It's not just Salesforce automation. If you think about what it is we are doing at order orchestration or exception management, that's not natively something that you're going to hear walking booth to booth. The object-oriented model of the platform really allowed us to configure it to whatever it is that we needed it to be. We introduced a lot of custom objects that, I think were kind of a clever and creative use of the platform, I'd say. The need for consultation. Again, that was a play on words. We had the professional services. They know their product pretty well, I'd have to say. So they really helped us. But the console from the internal customer was the thing that we really benefited from. being able to just drive all of the exceptions to a console that our agents are working fairly actively really helped sort of create that one-stop shop. Not even a need to navigate many different tabs. It's a single place where the agents go and they spend their entire day. It's a good thing. I get the third one from our CIO, who has an adage about you can't manage what you can't measure. Never more true here, I think, in terms of us not only setting the roadmap for what is to come, but also having the reporting and the analytics and the dashboard around how successful this particular program is so that the company moves it to the top of the ladder and makes it a very high priority. Again, some of the canned reporting and the features we have available to us in Salesforce provided us that benefit. Ask, Listen, Solve, that we really had a very rapid and iterative process with regard to the 8-week development cycle. We were there very late, but we were having the business right there along with us, experiencing our pain with us, and I think that was a great benefit to the project. Watermelon, that's this notion of when I was in choir, if you didn't know the words to the song, you would just mouth watermelon, because it was a pretty good chance you were getting some of the vowels and the consonants right. And it would look like you actually knew the words to the song. And that was kind of the thing that we took away. With 8 weeks, we were wrong all the time, up until probably the last week on very specific parts of our implementation. The technology was moving so rapidly. There was a couple of holes, with a week left in there, but we kind of faked it, got it right at the wire. But I'll leave it at that. Probably makes little sense, but it was the inside joke that Tony and I had. And give them what they want. The customer wanted a price guarantee. The internal customer had the idea about how to get there. And I think our objective was to get them both there at the same time, and that's what we did. Okay.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, next we have Nick from British Telecom.
All right, Nick.
Thank you.
This is going forward.
Thanks very much. Sorry, I'm slightly late here. I saw Mark Benioff being half an hour late this morning and saying that every other session would be pushed back half an hour. So I was complacently sitting over there talking to a couple of partners when suddenly I got a text saying, "We're on time, where are you?" So sorry about that. So my name's Mick Hegarty. I probably know less about Salesforce implementation than most of the people in this room. We started out on this journey fairly recently. So what I will be talking to you about is not our experience of using Salesforce, but in particular a pioneering application that we've built using Force.com. We are very impressed with the capabilities of Salesforce, and we're driving an investment case to become an end-to-end user. But one of the pilots that we've initiated has been really successful for us, and I'd just like to share some of the experiences we've had on that. I don't know how much you know about BT. BT Group, if you like, is the Marbell of the UK, so it's the traditional telecommunications provider. And I work for BT Business, which is the arm of BT that looks after SMEs or SMBs in the UK. That's a very broadly defined category. It's about 1.6 million businesses who pay sales tax is the category we focused on, value-added tax in the UK. And we've got a lot of privileges. We've got as a result of our history. We have a strong brand. We have a billing relationship with 1 million of those 1.6, so that's a pretty good footprint in the market. We've got a lot of good things going for us, but we have a lot of challenges as well. Okay? So most telcos, I think, are having to adjust to dramatic changes in their business models, and some of them are more concerned about that than others. We're extremely concerned about it because we think a lot of our core products and services are being transformed beyond all recognition by technology. In particular for BT, we're very strong in traditional communications, fixed communications, but because we got overexcited in the dot-com boom and bought a lot of expensive assets, and then had quite a hangover in 2001 when we realized that all the things we paid for with cash now had different valuations to them, we had to sell some really important assets, and one of those was our mobile business. So we are not just a telco, we are a telco without a mobile business, which is an extremely interesting business to be in. One of the things we've done as a result is we've had to move quickly away from being focused on products because most of the products we sell are undifferentiated and widely distributed in the market. Okay? So what we've had to say is, okay, what is our relevance to customers? And what we've tried to say is we should try and focus on making small, medium businesses successfully, largely through the adoption of new technology. I mean, that's one of the things that our brand allows us to do, and we start with a base of communications technology that allows us to do that. Okay? But there's quite a challenge there for us. One of the challenges is our industry gets very excited about technology. So if you're in the communications business, you'll have heard an awful lot about convergence over the years. First of all, we had voice and data convergence, so we've had fixed and mobile convergence. We now see a kind of third wave of convergence, which brings together not just communications, but also IT applications and content. Many of the barriers between those markets are coming down, and that creates some exciting times. It creates some exciting opportunities because players in those markets can potentially enter adjacent markets and have a much wider addressable market to serve. There's also the challenge that it means a lot of competitors in previously separate markets are coming into yours. So for us, sorry, this is, should I put this down? Have I?
Most of the first slide.
Sorry about that. I'm going to use the buttons and do a little bit less arm waving. Here we go. Just okay. So, maybe. Thank you. So we're traditionally, and if you like, in that top circle, providing communications and infrastructure services to our customers. Pretty good market. It's about 5 billion in the UK. We're about a 2.6 billion revenue business. Most of it's in that area. So as you can see, we've got a pretty good position. But it's changing dramatically. And in particular, we're seeing very aggressive play by the mobile players investing in that space. We then have the hardware and IT services. Now, in a world that's all broadband, increasingly what customers are saying is, well, is a way that you can provide more than just the broadband, but provide the services around that as well. And then there's a whole world of applications and content that's coming together. And in the short term, what we see is significant threats to fixed telcos from the mobile players, and then longer term, some potentially really disruptive plays coming from the web, with whether it's Google with Google Voice, whether it's Skype, whoever, potentially big changes. Lots of excitement for us, lots of excitement about convergence. One thing for our customers, for most SMBs, this is a real headache. So for many of our customers, technology is, and they'll say this again and again, it's a necessary evil. And what they feel increasingly frustrated about is it's becoming more necessary. Now, I'm not even standing there, so this is... It's becoming more necessary, but it's also becoming more evil. It's becoming harder for them to understand and to manage. So there's a high degree of frustration with our customers about technology that doesn't behave in the way they expect it to and meet their needs. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to say, how do we make technology simple for our customers? And in particular, in that last slide you saw, there are a lot of very, very big brands. Okay, so there are a lot of, I guess most of you would know, even though we're just talking about the UK, you'd know most of the brands on that chart. We found, for interesting, when we talk, for example, when we talk to our customers about being a brand for business, they say, yeah, of course, BT's a brand for business. And we say, what about a brand for your business? And they say, oh, no, you deal with the big banks and you'll deal with large multinationals, but I'm just a 10-person accounting firm in the Northwest. What would you do for me? So we've got to find a way of making our brand relevant to local customers. And that's why what we're trying to do is work with partners, simplify our offers, and connect with customers wherever they're doing business to provide offers that are relevant to them. Now, one of the ways we're doing that is to really drive, we think one of the biggest opportunities for customers is exploiting the web. So we've driven very hard the broadband agenda. We've driven very hard the adoption of services over broadband, including web hosting. What customers are saying to us more and more are, I get this, I understand what I should be doing, the thing is it's not working for me. I can't see it delivering a return on my business. So you've told me to get broadband, you've told me to get a web presence, the web presence is doing nothing for me. What I need to do is I need to stand out on the web, I need to be found, and for them the shortcode in that is Google. They say, I need to be found in Google. Why am I not found in Google? So what we started to look at more recently is that we think it's not just our industry that's not meeting the needs of SMEs. In terms of providing them the tools they need and the knowledge they need to be successful online with their marketing efforts, the marketing industry isn't structured to succeed them. I can sort of wave my arms to give you a view of it. There was a graph, if you saw it earlier, which is that for our large customers, there are the classic full-service marketing agencies, tier one agencies, the Ogilvies, all the WPP stable that we may know, who, to a better or less successful extent, provide a very rich set of services that meet our needs. As you start to get to a smaller set of customers, there are then specialist agencies. They might be regional, they might be focused in a particular vertical, they might be just picking a certain cluster of customers who meet their needs very well. But there are a very large number of small businesses, we find, who are very poorly served. Okay? So when we looked at this, what we started to hear was a lot of web hosters were saying, why don't we become an AdWords reseller? That's what you do, is you push out Google AdWords to customers as part of your offer. When we looked at it, we found, talking to Google and Microsoft and others, it wasn't really working for them. It wasn't driving sustained adoption of search marketing by customers. And it wasn't working for the customers either. They were extremely frustrated. So what we've set out to do is try and provide not just the search marketing itself, but a fairly rich service around that of advice and support that helps customers know how to make the right choices on search marketing. What we've had to do is make that affordable. We've had to make it deliverable across the whole of the UK, and we've decided to make it very transparent. We found that a lot of the people that are serving customers down here have what I can only describe as hard-to-beat propositions. They will say to small businesses, I guarantee you the #1 slot on the Google's page. And that's not a promise we can make, because we don't think it's a sustainable offer to a customer. So the approach we've taken is saying, well, we're not going to say we'll get you to the #1 slot on the Google page. What we will do is be completely transparent in how your marketing spend is delivering results. The way we've done that is we've launched a service called BT Search Smart. Okay? Now what we've done is we've partnered with the #1 agency in the UK. There's a very, very good agency across paid search and unpaid search called Latitude. They are extremely good at what they do. What we really liked about them more than that were two things. The first thing was they understood the SME market, and they realized they couldn't just take an existing offer and scale it down. They built from the bottom up an offer just designed for SMEs. The second thing is they partner really well. Okay, and that's a really important competence for us, because increasingly our success is with partners. So we've built this service, and really are two main components. There is a natural search help that helps customers with search engine optimization, and there is paid search help, which provides you with a set of tools to spend AdWords wisely. In the UK, this area is really badly served. Most of the agencies won't start talking to you as an SME until you're spending several £1,000s a month on search marketing. And for most SMBs, that is absolutely not an affordable amount. Where we're starting out is at a service that for £75 a month, my currency rates aren't brilliant, so I think that's something like $100 odd a month. We will put you in a business of having search optimization of your existing web page, whether it's with another provider or us. And then we're able to offer you paid search campaigns from £100 a month. But the key to this, the thing that's made this successful, is our ability to use force.com. If I've got time, what I'd like to do is just quickly flip to the browser and show you the portal that we use. Thank you. How am I doing for time?
You're good.
Okay. So this is where I get to see the blue screen of death. Well, typing it properly would be a good start, wouldn't it? Search. Okay, well, that's a start. Great. So if I just log into this portal here. If anybody's really interested in this, if you drop me any details, I can give you the login details. It's a customer test program. .com, and then what you have is so what we're looking at here is a page that is built on force.com. We're really delighted about this because it was done pretty quickly, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But all the stuff we've seen is really on brand for us, and that's really, really important for us. And that's great. All right. Search, thank you very much. No, I'm cursed, I think.
You're not typing in.
Right. I'll try one last time and then I'll give up, sorry. Sales@searchmark.bt.com, it should work. Bingo. Thank you. So what we're on now is the portal page that's been built using Force.com. And basically what it does, it gives you complete transparency. So you can see each of your keyword rankings. This was done for an example of a digital marketing agency. What would their business be? So down the left, you can see the keywords they might choose. You can see the page ranking they had last week and then where they are this week. So we won't guarantee you that you will be on number one, but you'll be able to see week on week how the trend is for your performance in each of those keywords. Down the bottom, you see how you can break it out by each of the search engines, and you can see some of the key metrics against each of the keywords as a summary level. You can then go into more detail. So if you go to the SEO page, you then get a breakout that shows you the keyword performance based over the last 12 weeks. You can pick each of the search words that you want to track individually and see how these search terms are used. Obviously, those are for an example of a company who uses this who is a marketing agency. And again, more specific detail down there on the performance of each area. Pay-per-click, same thing again. Through the portal, in real time, you can look at the performance. You can set the time frame you're looking at. You can set which search engine you're looking at. You can look at the spend. You can look at the click-throughs. You can look at the cost per click. You then have an insights page. One of the things we're trying to do is we want to teach SMEs how to fish. We think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors that are waved about that confuse SMEs. So what we want to try and do is be transparent and help them to understand, how they can improve their knowledge about search marketing themselves. And finally, there's an automated assistance portal which allows SMEs to submit queries to be answered electronically. And if they pay a slightly higher rate, there's a telephone-based service as well. Okay? It's very, very simple. It's very, very transparent. Whilst it may not meet some of the hype of some of the alternatives offers, you can see exactly what you're getting. And we only launched it a couple of weeks ago, but we've had great customer reaction so far. The key thing about this is there's no way... Okay.
Cancel.
Cancel, thank you. We couldn't have done this without Force.com because simply it would not scale to the quality and the price point we're trying to hit. So software as a service is something we've got very excited about. What we're starting to deliver here is deliver service as software. What we're trying to differentiate ourselves against the competitors is to provide a superior level of service over the solutions that we offer. We can only do that affordably using the power of software. Okay. Thanks, Katrina. I might just do that. Speed, you've heard before, speed was incredible. This was built not 8 weeks from starting to write the code. This was 8 weeks from when we agreed with Latitude that we were going to do this. So we agreed with Latitude that we were going to develop the services. 8 weeks later, we were in market with the offer. And within that time frame, we specified, developed, and delivered this Force.com platform. Partnership enablement is really, really critical for us. We've got quite a strong brand, but when we talk to SMEs, what they want to see is us working with best brands in other areas together. And it's hard for large companies to work together effectively for small companies. What the solutions allowed us to do is take the BT brand, the Google brand, Latitude and RSTO, who are quite significant brands in the UK, and have them working for each individual SME and delivering a customised service for each SME at a very affordable price point. Extensibility is massive, because this is just the start of what we want to do for customers. So we start off today by helping them see how they can make search marketing work. The next stage, to be honest, obviously, is what we then want to do is, okay, now you're starting to see those leads coming in, how are you managing those leads through to conclusion? And because we've built this on Force.com, we can now flow those very quickly through to a CRM solution. It's also extensible sideways because there are other range of marketing services we want to offer, for example, banners and other digital marketing tools, all of which we can build on Force.com and progressively offer to customers. So you get a straightforward, transparent, consistent set of marketing services with measurable results built on a single platform at low cost. So the final point is the BT strapline is bringing it all together. What we aim to do is try to bring together technology for customers for their benefit as a solution that's fairly straightforward with a good service wrap. I think with Force.com, we've had an ability to do that really quickly with some powerful brands in a totally new market for us and a segment that has not been well served in terms of meeting needs of customers. So our experience of Force.com has been fantastic. If you haven't used it, all I can say is we highly recommend it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Mick. Now, Katrina Kahn from Data Media is going to go in next.
Can you guys hear me?
Thanks for the face. I don't know what happened with the slides.
You guys already got a preview of my first screen. And, being the last session of the first day, following 2 other great speakers, I don't know. I might have drawn the short straw here. But can you guys hear me? Is this working? Not working, but can hear you. Okay. All right. Well, Okay, there we go. Okay. So, wow, I sound really loud. Give me a second here so I can move around. So, my presentation is a little bit different. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Dtran Media and some of the challenges we've had, but it's around really focusing on identifying your customers, your existing customers, and identifying multiple product opportunities for cross-sell and upsell. But to give you a little bit of idea about Dtran Media, we are a digital technology marketing company, and what we do is we help brands, publishers, media companies really manage their digital marketing across multiple channels. So if you look at this large orange orb, that's just to wake you up a little bit with that bright color, but it really kind of one moment. Oh, you guys are getting a preview. Okay, I'm done. Good times, good times. Okay. Look, I'm touching nothing. This is the magic show. Okay, so just to give you a quick idea is how we leverage really 4 core competencies to help our customers market their products and services, okay? All managing through digital marketing online. Online advertising, we have an ESP for overall deployment, audience measurement, media monetization, and compliance. So now we're going to go to the next screen. So we're going to talk about a couple of challenges that we had as an organization. Well, first of all, I'm the director of client services, so I get involved with the client pretty much throughout the life cycle at the end of the sales process. So end of sales process, execution, product delivery, onboarding, client services, account growth. I'm busy, okay? What this slide represents is basically the sales funnel, and this looks similar for everyone. You have your prospects who have opportunities that have been identified with value. Existing customer accounts where we're looking for multiple cross-sell opportunities, and those suspects, which are those leads that we're pursuing. So really what we had a problem, we had a centralized sales force that all sales representatives had the ability to sell all products. And what we found is we were not getting the traction that we wanted in the separate product groups. And so what we did is we decentralized our sales and we focused on product-specific specialization. And what that enabled us to do is to leverage Salesforce, and we'll talk about an example from lead qualification to conversion to opportunity execution. But it enabled us to use Salesforce to manage that entire process, from qualifying customers and leads to the upsell and cross-sell opportunities, because the holy grail is multiple product sales. That's what we're all wanting to do. I mean, even on the online digital world today, everyone is seeking for, they're looking at 2 key objectives, improve measurability and improve overall performance. So this is, the title of this is Improving Product Bundling to Build a Disruptive Client Experience. Well, when you first look at that, a disruptive client experience sounds a little negative. But the concept, the idea here is that if you integrate deeply enough with one product or multiple products and create a dependency of your customers on your products and services for the success of their customers, if they were to discontinue using your services, it would create a disruption. Perfect example. How many people here, everybody, I'm assuming everybody has a cell phone, right? How many of you have left it in the car, left it at your office, left it somewhere, the battery ran dead, you lost it? What'd you do? Panic. How many people panicked? They were out of communication. People couldn't reach you. You couldn't respond wherever you were. Well, that dependency created that disruptive client experience, and that's what the pursuit is. So just to put it in perspective. Now, all of us have one. Some of us who are really paranoid carry 2. Okay? So what we're trying to do is, what does a multiple product customer look for? What are they looking for? We're all consumers. You're looking, you have an immediate need, you have an immediate challenge. Ours is serving technology to help customers market their products or services better across the online channels. Okay, so what are they looking for? They're looking for that immediate need, that immediate service. They're looking for an exceptional service level, but they're also looking for a company that provides future growth, future opportunities, future services that can grow with them. I'm just having a good time with these slides. Okay. So that's what they're looking for. Now that we know that, how do we find the best customers to buy as many products as you can sell? So the first thing that we did is we leveraged, once we decentralized our sales force and we focused on the specific product groups, my account teams, they went in and they identified what customers were using what services and built account plans based on that to identify those additional opportunities. So we put together a profile for each product group and how those products were associated with each other, and then created basically filling that funnel again with those cross-sell and upsell opportunities. So I'm going to show you a little bit of an example of what we've done to create some leads. At the iMedia Agency Summit, we put together this, basically it's an incentive of an American Express card that you can redeem. But the key here is, maybe you should just stay here. But the key is this is a personalized landing page, which is the redemption site, that automatically loads into Salesforce. And if you'll notice on the right-hand side, there's some qualifying questions. Now, this was specific for a specific product, which is our audience measurement. This is, helps customers define and measure basically their audience and their content performance. So what online targeting methodologies are you using? What 3 audience segments do you target? What technologies are you using today? Initial qualification. So again, what we've done is we've put a focus on the qualification more up front in the sales process versus, it's quantity versus quality. Go ahead. So this is an actual screen that we've customized inside Salesforce to capture that data information and making it more actionable. So this information is actually scored automatically and routed to the appropriate group. Again, we had a centralized group. We decentralized them into 4 product groups. And then we're regionally segmented as well with our sales team. So what this does is this self-reported information, additional qualification data, is routed to either inside sales, direct sales, or the account management team if it's an existing customer. Go ahead. So then either one of those sales teams utilizes this next screen to help further along the sales process throughout sales execution. The one thing that was interesting that we realized is sometimes when we were talking to prospects that we've identified there's an opportunity is that we were talking to the wrong person. You know, and we didn't understand what their area of influence was. They have a need, but they may not be the decision maker. So what we've done is we have a specific section that we design what they're responsible for. What are they responsible for purchasing? And then we knew we could further qualify that opportunity, work with them on those specific things. Also, do they have current service providers, incumbent like an ESP here, or any additional web analytics that they may be using, and additional information. Go ahead. So this is just another graphic to talk about. Here's our lead creation. This is how we drive leads, for example, with the American Express card, the qualification, and the sales execution. Sales execution is really where the heavy lifting is after we've captured that actionable data. That's key. And again, the holy grail is sell multiple products, create that disruptive client experience, that dependency. The success of their business or a portion of their business is dependent on your products or service. Okay? So after we've created a lead, we've qualified it, we've reached out and we've executed the sales, we've delivered the product, now we have to build lasting customer relationships. So this is really the asset of all of our businesses is our existing customers. And as you all know, everyone is being pressed with the economy right now to do more for less. We all are. We're all being pressed to do that. So the thing is when we bring on new customers in bundling, what we think of it is long-term bundling, not bundling and selling them everything that is in our box to sell them. It's one thing at a time based on their primary need. Then we have to back it up with exceptional customer service
and a dedication to their success. This has really been key and been something that's really transitioned and helped us grow our accounts and also retain customers as they're feeling additional pressures or economic pressures. Become a part of your customer's business DNA through multiple product sales. You're part of their business DNA, part of their success. Go ahead. This is just an example of something we started about a month ago. It's a promotion using an iTunes card as an incentive. We invested $10,000. We promoted it, email, banners, physical redemption cards. It generated about 240 leads. About 65% of the targeted prospects responded and redeemed and became qualified leads. Then if you look at it, we don't know what the deal sizes will eventually be, but each opportunity is an average about $200,000. So you can see our initial investment is worth even just one opportunity. So this is just an example of kind of the entire process. And some of the wins that we've been able to experience in leveraging Salesforce to manage basically align our sales and account management teams is that we've eliminated siloed efforts, right? It's a process that's automated, distributed automatically to the right salesperson or account management person, a representative, and then allows them to follow up with it. It creates accountability, tracking, measurement. It enables us really to track the ROI of our marketing campaigns. Let's see. Go ahead, go to the next one. So a couple of key takeaways. We weren't able to do this change in our sales organization without leveraging Salesforce and the experts and identifying what's the best way to modify our process to meet the needs of basically our sales model and the services that we provide. You know, you don't want to be the company that doesn't define the process across your organization and utilize Salesforce the same way. You'll be a company that's doing a lot of re-engineering. So the key thing is to leverage the experts, the consulting, the account management, the professional services of Salesforce. And organizationally align and integrate your sales and account teams. This has created so many efficiencies in our ability to respond to leads and existing customers and pursue new customer acquisition and new cross-sell opportunities. Actionable data is key, right? Your system's only as good as your data, and when it's automatic and it's self-reported from the customer based on an incentive, it's automatically captured. Exceptional service. This is the foundation. If you go through the entire sales process and you're not able to deliver the product and exceptional service, you have no foundation to launch to create more opportunities. Multiple products become a part of your business DNA. So I think the bottom line here is we're able to really qualify quality leads and execute faster, bring product and service quicker to market, and really leverage this data to identify and bundle additional products we can sell.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. I know it's challenging with the technology here, but you guys did a great job. I'll open it up for questions for the speakers. Any questions? I'll start with one then. So why do you guys decide to use Salesforce? Why Salesforce? I don't know if maybe Nick, you want to start.
For us, basically it was there was very no choice at all. So it was quite straightforward. We were looking at a platform that would allow us to really quickly develop a solution that would work across 3 companies that had never worked before. We'd never worked with Google in a significant way going to market. We'd never worked with Latitude going to market. We'd signed a contract. We wanted to be in market in 8 weeks. There was nothing we felt that we could all be using quickly and that would allow us those development timescales. And we were really delighted with the outcome. So I think it's unique for us.
Fantastic. Chad?
Yeah, for us, I think it was looking at our existing inventory of things we knew well. We had supported 2 separate instances of Salesforce already. So as we look at the reuse model, we knew that we had some things there that we could reuse, making it easier to aggressively pursue those aggressive timelines.
Right. Katrina?
The one thing I didn't say is that Daytran Media is an example of that multiple product customer. And if Salesforce was to go away tomorrow, it would create a big disruption in our business because we use it not only in this, but also customer support and service. I think we're really a service-oriented company, and it really enabled us to leverage our sales team and manage our existing customers.
Right. Any questions from the audience? No? All right, well, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day in Dreamforce.
Time for the bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
And again, sorry for the technical challenges here.
Okay, thank you.